Great to be here, though. Yes, for all of you who enjoyed what you saw from Solary over on the Rocket Baguette stream, apologies, you're stuck with us now here for Monaco and Solary as they continue their lower bracket run. And Danny, this has been quite the tournament to watch, even as a fan of all of these teams that we've seen today, making their run through the bracket and seeing a guy like Cash take over as he has for Monaco.
Oh, this is just fabulous. I've been a huge fan from Cash since he went onto the scene from PlayStation and on. So when I get to see him sticking a goal straight on, set to the mark here, and I'm sorry to all the Rocket fans from France, I've got to support the Englishman in this case here, as he has been outstanding, but has to be careful here with the defence here. Stax a little bit of tinkering around here in that arsenal of his. Bit of response here by Extra, but needs to trust each other, has to hold on to the ball, but finally Ignite is there.
Cash, a player that we've seen have a bit of a meteoric rise over the past several months, especially after getting added on to Notorious Legion. He was a difference maker for sure, enabled them to have a much more of an offensive presence. No surprise to see him striking first for Monaco here, but you can't discount this Solary squad. We've talked so much about Canyon's ability to come back in games. Solary, much the same way. They play lockdown defense more often than not. Scoring a goal against them, usually an accomplishment. Holding a lead, an even bigger challenge, as Cash gonna throw one off to the corner. Extra will try to control, but one little mistake like that and you can find yourself in a world of hurt. That's a great challenge by Ignite.
Fabulous little light here by Ignite, tries to force the demo, but as Monaco wise within their rotations, trying to force in a pincer-like movement, basically moving the ball from corner infield, and the force basically Solary in an awkward situation. You can see them scrambling around for boost and position, but Exotic there on the Melis issue, wonderful bit of control, and Cash outplayed, outdunked, but again Ignite control by the veteran Kerr with a decent attempt here, but AS Monaco leads 1-0.
Melishisu, first touch, almost got away from him, but he's going to find Carrion. Could not get around on a shot, had to get around the challenge as well. And now everybody from Solary will retreat except Exotic. Melishisu tried to get a piece of Extra, but he could not, and now Ignite's shot is right at Carrion. And more importantly than just making the save, he was able to find Exotic. Unfortunately, Exotic could not keep possession, and it got a little hairy there for Solary. They've kept it to a 1-goal deficit, but not for long. It's Cash.exe. Execute again.
Oh, this is just fabulous. Exotic taken out by, frankly, by today's modern standards, a basic flip reset controlled by Cash. Oh, this is just simply sublime. 2-0 good control, but we've seen the likes of the top team struggle. But these are two titans here, Stack. There's no doubt about it, but Solary has to start waking up, has to perform. But who can stop the Cash?
It'll be Exotic, bumped away by Ignite, still stays with the play and got a shot off, but Cash getting it done on both sides of the field. Extra's going to make this save. Had Ignite in support if he needed him. Now Carrion, good center pass, but that's intercepted by Cash. Boy, he's done everything. He's been everywhere for almost Solary, for AS Monaco. And if you're Solary now, this is not something you're used to dealing with, because you've got Cash with a much different team around him than he had during the Rival Series League play. And it's showing that Cash much more comfortable here with the Monaco boys.
Well, as you would expect, a little bit of difficulties trying to slot into a new team, but as you said, Stax wonderfully moving in, the movement free flow and dynamic too, and he's actually impacting the city. He's not just a third wheel sitting back and just trying to clean up, respect the two standing duo there, but Solary, they've got a bit of work to do here. As you can see them bringing the ball, dunk maybe, a tempting offer there, and Kerr needs to have a backer. Impact is the second man there. 60 seconds.
We've seen Carrion so many times. He's been a heartbreaker for a lot of teams. He's come up with a lot of clutch goals. They need two and they haven't had many chances to get one. Bouncing down, Carrion will start the break for Solary, intercepted by ignite. Mello looking for any help at all, and instead has to delay. That's going to go over top of Exotic. The teamwork not quite there for Solary. Cash taking his time, and he's got a hat trick.
Oh, Cash. This is why this man is probably the hottest player in the ROR, is simply outplayed. But give credit, of course, there to ignite. Just a bit of a bulldozer time. 31 seconds, 3 goals is the ass. Not going to happen. You can see 4 goals quicker before consolation 2. Well worked, well moved as well. Oh, guys, take a break. That was orgasmic.
This is how you know a team's just playing with their food at this point. Wow. There's nothing more to say. That is spectacular. Cash having a field day out there.
Oh, he's made that look like it was in free play, Stax. That's how comfortable the man is at the moment.
You know, it's almost karmic, right? We saw Solary at the end of their last series. It looked like they were just kind of messing around a bit, maybe making a couple extra unnecessary passes. There's even a save there, and if you can't score that, then you know it's just not your day. But it looked like they were just kind of warming up for this series because they felt like they had that series in hand, and Nameless almost made them pay for it. Now you see the same thing happening to them. Monaco just had a laugh at the end of that game, and Cash, what more can you say? It can't be understated at all. His presence in that game.
Usually when you talk about the present, you talk about the team, the chemistry and that there. That was all Cash. Don't get me wrong, yeah. I threw a few moments in of brilliance. You would expect that with his experience. He's been in the rival series many times, bit patchy of course in his history, RLCS as we talked about, 0-9. But you have there the newcomer, Solary. They should be brimming with full of confidence. You saw them playing cat and mouse. This is no pushover, they have to step it up. You can already see the immediate pressure they're trying to put on here, but AS Monaco, they've dealt with it on point and perfection too.
Extra trying to get the dunk on Carrion, and now it'll be Exotic for Mello. Mello needs another touch, but Extra's right there in his face. Everything moving just a little too slowly for Solary. Exotic gotta have this, and he had to play it dangerously close to the post. Now Carrion all the way across. It won't be on target, and Extra has one more touch in. I'm going to drop that back for Cash. They try to keep possession here, but Cash might have let this one get away just a little too much. It looked like he made the decision at the last moment to go for that midfield boost. Now Exotic trying to challenge Extra. He cannot. And now you see Solary starting to come alive a little bit on offense. You're seeing Monaco give them opportunities, but they're not getting punished for it. And Solary, as much as they look a little better in game number 2, not up to the standard we're used to seeing them from them even today throughout their run.
Oh, go on. The standard, though, from AS Monaco has been sublime. There is very few bits that's been wrong with them. You see them playing compact, which is nice in the defense. There's not major holes they can be poked and punished for. You can see Cash just giving a bit of time for action to move around. Melisishu, on the other hand, been beaten and bruised, and Ironite trying to pocket a bit of pocket and space. Not this time around, but 2 minutes goalless so far. Oh, this is what I love EU for. Well, good defense.
There you go.
Oh,
my goodness. Double tap, bang, bang. Cash again. He has been phenomenal. And the passing from this Monaco squad, it started with just an innocent-looking back pass, and it turned into so much more. They are on point. They do not look like a team that's just trying out a new third.
This is wonderful. There's very few players step up into a new team. He said this is a tryout. I think this is confirmation. That's how good he has been. Looking for that qualification spot. He's trying to circle around here. I think just watching Extra doing a little bit of pulling here, but a good pass and play develops. Not going to meet The connection for the counter snuffed out by the veteran. Half the game remaining, Stax, and oh my. AS Monaco, welcome back.
No kidding. Cash been phenomenal. And it is tempting to call it a one-man show. He's going to get another one. Good grief. Oh, no. Extra got it this time. But, you know, it's tempting to call it a one-man show, but you look at what iignite and Extra are doing as well. They're enabling him to do whatever he wants. They're challenging in midfield, and they're just making sure as much as they can that the ball finds its way towards Cash. And when they set him up for success like that, they put him in those opportunities. He has been money.
Oh, if there's a payout, he knows where, unfortunately, the bank account is. The zeros keeps on adding on. Unfortunately, their opposition has one massive zero of their own. They haven't seen the net yet in game 2. Tempting so far, but give credit here to Kais, one of the very few players at the professional level, plays in the weeklies, plays in the Knights Cactus here at the Rocket. And you know what? Time, effort, showing that hard work, dedication is all paying off here. This is what they go for, and this by Kais over the ignite could have been threatening, but finally, Solary with a bit of defense that pays off.
I mean, it is amazing. 5 goals for Cash in this series, 1 goal for Extra, no goals for anybody else. This is his spotlight right now, and he has owned it. iignite. Oh, he almost dropped it down to him. Cash still gonna score anyways.
These nets regulation. He's been scoring everything left, right, and centre. And so far, the French defence, abysmal. It's almost like a typical English side from 1966 onwards.
It has not been pretty. You are not wrong. There is still time, maybe not in this game, but at least there is time in the series. Fortunately, you get one more chance to figure out how to cool off Cash, but he almost got another one there. Can you imagine if he ends up with a hat trick in every game in this series?
I think maybe some of the bigger teams, most perhaps might be interested in the domination that this man can bring to the field. It's just refreshing to see a full player that has bags of talent. And Joe, it's even more impressive. I haven't even seen him on defense. He doesn't need to be on defense. He's got 2 solid rocks, and it's give credit to iignite. Some people give him a bit of hammering at times for not being as good as he once was. He sat up Kaish here for every bit of the play when it needs to be. And that's sometimes what you need in a captain. Take a back seat and let your main man shine when it matters most.
Look at this. Time running down off the clock. Extra doesn't even need to take a shot. Content to just wait it out and get on to game 3. Hey, strike while the iron's hot, right? And it is just white hot right now. The streak that Monaco is on, and they are 1 win away from making a mockery out of this series.
Mockery, it's almost laughable. I mean, sitting here and saying goalless. I mean, I've heard of no 777s on a slot machine paying out, but I don't think you get anything for 000s.
They have outscored Solary 7-0 in this series. 6 of them belong to Cash. I'll tell you who's not laughing right now is the Solary squad. They have to figure out, and they're going to get a little extra time here to figure out how to slow down Cash, and maybe an extended break is exactly what they need. Maybe they just take an extra moment, couple deep breaths to go, all right, we can't get all 3 at once, 1 at a time. That's been the mantra of a team like Canyons for so long.
I mean, if you're sitting thinking that you can win 3 games on the bounce, it's foolish. You have to be 100% focused, concentrated, just within the game that you can control. You're only as good as your last game, and right now, Solary hasn't been even close to AS Monaco. Not even once throughout this series. They have to start trusting the defence, build from the back, and push on forward. If they don't do that, it's a 3-0 sweep. Perfect sweep. Maybe like the perfect biscuit himself, but ignore fresh 5 minutes on the clock.
You know what also could be a huge factor here, and this is no disrespect to a very talented nameless squad. You look at who these teams played in their previous series. Okay, Solary made quick work of Nameless. Monaco had to deal with Oxygen, and they just about beat him into the ground. That's going to be a huge confidence boost. Finally, Exotic might get one. No, Cash made that stop too, and they still can't score.
You are not worthy of Cash's presence, because that was fabulous on the save, and even better, they have a chance for the counter too. They're just working the ball, and they're just in Solary just being beaten at their own game. They have just need to settle down, realize when the play is done, set yourselves for another Arsenal attack here. Other than that, it's foolish to put all three man on a dead play.
Pop up for Exotic. This has to be a goal, and it is still not. And Meloshisu denied by who else but the man of the hour, Cash. This is incredible.
Brings a tear to your eye, and he could be adding punishment too. Sadly not that time, but Einik still with the immediate pressure. Feels the play adding up second and third as Kai's just trying to slow it down the middle. That's good awareness, but actually that's a foolish mistake. But the crossbar, what a hero there. The woodwork wobbling into the wind, but it's Solary who is shaking at the boot still.
Unreal. Even when they beat the defense, they still can't beat the crossbar. They still can't beat the post. Now Cash dropped down and everybody went just a little too far forward. And man, when Cash is confident enough to just drop it down for a teammate when he has been, you could easily make the case, hard carrying this series, you know it's going to be a long day for the opposition. Here's ignite, looking for extra. Cash is waiting. Grim Reaper in the wings, and instead he'll have to get back.
I hate to see the sides of the seat as it'll be a huge reward if they can knock out maybe one of the biggest competitors they saw last season. And here comes out now to carry on. What a touch! Builds a bit of space, but here, as you said, the man up the arm passes over the action. Not a perfect pass back in. Wasteful play here, and that could find its way in.
Will be carrying now over to, well, it looked like Exotic was going to turn on that. Instead, he'll have to opt for boost. But you look at Solary, they're just jumbled up right now defensively. Carrion's got his back to Cash as he tries to make this play. I mean, it is, we said it earlier, it is not looking pretty. You said it could bring it, excuse me, bring a tear to your eyes. You're bringing a lot of tears to the eyes of Solary as again they don't score. And watch out on the other side, Extra almost forced that through.
There is a brick wall, a magnet. What does Solary need to do at this point? By a bulldozer? They cannot get through. Somebody has literally changed the lock, hasn't chosen, and their bag of luggage sitting on the pavement. Somebody picked them up because they're getting sent home, but they've got 1 minute plus to find an answer and a solution, and that's a goal required.
It's hard to imagine that this game is still scoreless given the number of opportunities that Solary has had. As close as they've been, they still haven't broken through, and ignite may have just put him to the finals.
Oh, what a little play. Kaish gets a little rest, rightly so. Oh, just puts it right past. What defense. No stop. Let's just get this series and done, because the final surely is AS Monaco now.
There is time for Carrion, but that touch isn't going to do it. Maybe this one from Exotic? No, Meloshisu, he turned around at the last moment, just wasn't feeling it. Instead, we'll steal some boost. Looking for a demo on Cash. Could not get him. It's a jailbreak back the other way.
You said it's near enough laughable at one point. At this, a perfect sweep. RLCS quality playing this is apparently. They've got a lot of learning in their apprenticeship still on the team.
71% of the world's covered in water, the rest covered by Cash. This is remarkable stuff. And he may add another before we're all said and done here. I mean, you don't even think that they could score at this point. I mean, you saw Meloshisu coming in, had a great look at the net, And you just kind of look down your notes like, nope, this is going off the post, and sure enough, it did.
Oh, there's a helpline for these goalposts. I mean, they've been suffering damage and blows. Almost concussion, like how badly it's been dented here. Solary not able to impact it throughout the series. It's not like this is a bad series, it's just that pop-off quality that Kaish can bring to a team, and there it is. None shall pass. I mean, are we reenacting Lord of the Rings here?
They're toying with him at this point. And that will finally touch down. I mean, that was... Man, I've seen some dominant performances. I've seen some really good one-man gangs. That from Cash, that tops the list.
There's not many players in the scene that could do that. Kaish has just put his name on that mantelpiece and just says to the rest of Europe, are you even good enough to be mentioned alongside him as name? You talk about maybe the likes of Astral carrying a series of teams. Kaish, well done, welcome. And I hope AS Monaco picks you up, because that was a performance worthy for it.
It's almost laughable to think that a lot of people have said, well, this is just a tryout. Nothing is concrete. Let me tell you something. Cash ain't ended up on Notorious Legion again next season, or whatever that roster happens to be. He is going to end up wherever he darn well pleases if he continues this.
Well, please some, but others will be in dismay. Solary, unfortunately, eliminates Stax. That's the last we get to say them, but one big important match, qualification, coming up next, and I know you're looking forward to it too.
Oh, I cannot wait to see this showdown between Canyons and Monaco. The way that Canyons looked earlier on, I mean, they struggled in their win and in series earlier against Endpoint, but up until then, they were a treat to watch. But after seeing that, I mean, this is the first I've seen of Monaco outside of being able to look over towards a couple other streams throughout the day. That they look like the best team in the tournament by far, and they're in the lower bracket.
Scary thoughts there on our screens. You see the likes of Dignitas waiting, Barca waiting, all those great names waiting for one more victim. Or will there be another upset? Well, we'll find out after this very quick break.